with Null voice.
Sounded like the scream of a dying person.
Do you know what I mean?
So,
nobody saw that? Okay, I'm
like
good.
wolves tearing after
Try
a
to-
I like
deer.
black music,
Ran
mate.
like
I
hell.
fucking love it. Michael
When we got to
Jackson
Adam's
is a
house, we
legend.
saw
After a
men
You
few
fucking
minutes,
talk to me about
he
music,
carrying
cunt.
tells
long
everybody in the
file
room I
boxes.
just busted my ass.
You talk to me about
They
music
hurried
because
into
of
a black
fucking...
SUV.
Mate,
outside.
my fucking music
Miriam
taste
was
is fucking
screaming. She was
supreme.
being
Do
restrained
you know what I
by a
mean?
man
And I think
in a
sometimes
cheap
the
black
reason
suit.
why we ended up in this
She was
relationship is because of
swearing,
my fucking
kicking to
music
get
taste,
free.
isn't it, really? It's got
Without
a
a
story if you
second
think
thought,
about it,
Stephen
didn't you?
took
Reason
the
for
black
music.
suit coat,
Sure.
producing a razor-sharp atlas,
And then we jumped
ready to
right back
attack.
Where's all damage to the
A man
people?
jumped out
Plays
of his
early
SUV
80s shit
with one
on, doesn't it? You know what I mean? I like
cautious
some tracks, but do you know what I
I
mean?
can do that,
It's not
son.
really out forefront, is it? But do you know
I
what I
ain't
mean?
your son,
That's why we sort of
Stephen
all
fired
into that
back.
in here, innit?
I'm Sergeant McKaylee, he said, and put his hand on the butt of his sidearm. Put the weapon down.
In Japan, one of the most peaceful countries in the world, times are changing. A succession of brutal, horrific murders have shocked the nation. Murders committed not by hardened criminals or the secretive Japanese mafia, but by middle-class teenagers with no criminal record, killing indiscriminately.
Japan is in a serious crisis with its teenagers committing gruesome, terrible crimes, killing their classmates, killing kids in the neighborhood. They can destroy, they can attack. And that is incredibly frightening.
ここでその相手を殴った場所は顔と血が出てないでも口から泡吹いてで白目向いてたのが動いてました。
In the last decade, over 100 murders have been committed by teenagers. Many have a grotesque horror movie quality to them and are characterized by extreme cruelty. A 14-year-old decapitated a younger boy and placed his head on the school gate. A 17-year-old hijacked a bus and stabbed commuters with a huge carving knife. What has caused this recent spate of murder in a country whose young people are traditionally at the heart of a peaceful, ordered society?
Japanese have always viewed children as naturally good and gentle and kind, naive human beings. To think that a kid feels that he hates that person so much that he wants to destroy that person, it's quite shocking to everyone.
One of the first cases that shattered the serenity of Japanese life happened in 1993 in a quiet northern town called Shinjo. 13-year-old Yuhei Kodama was killed in a school gym after an unprovoked attack by a group of schoolboys aged between 13 and 16.
On the day he died, my wife reminded him that he was supposed to come home early for an English lesson. He said, I know, I'm off now. His voice stayed in my head ever since. When Yuhei didn't come home at the usual time, We contacted the school and asked them to look around for him. After the phone call, I ran to school, as it's not far from here. I saw that the door of the gym was open, so I went inside. I found a boy lying in the middle of the floor. I couldn't recognize him because of his swollen face. When I looked closer, I saw that the shape of the nose and lips were the same as Yuhei's. I held him, shook him, and called his name, Yuhei, Yuhei, but there was no response. The boys had apparently lynched him, kicked and hit him. Then they threw him inside a rolled-up gym mattress. He suffocated to death.
No teacher was present, and no one knows what actually happened to Yuhei in the hours leading up to his death. No reason was ever given for this brutal attack.
For 2 or 3 years after we lost Yuhei, we felt lost too. We didn't know what to do after my son Yuhei was killed. I felt a piercing pain in my heart when I saw boys of the same age going to school. Yuhei died on the 13th of January. Every month on the 13th day, we cook the food my son used to love. We offer it to him to comfort his soul as part of the Buddhist ceremony called Meinichi. I think one of the reasons that Yuhei was killed was that the boys who weren't any good at school felt desperate about their future. The boys were possibly jealous of his educational success. When I think about the offending boys, I think of them as evil. But at the same time, I know that they're human beings, just like me. Of the boys who killed my son, 3 of them went to reform school, and 1 got 2 weeks suspension. The other 3 were let off completely.
None of the offenders who attacked Yuhei spent more than a few months in a juvenile reformatory.
Yuhei is dead. The offending boys should have got longer sentences. The Japanese legal system is not working. I think it's useless.
The Japanese Prime Minister acknowledged that Yuhei's death was only the tip of the iceberg. He blamed the intense competition in Japanese schools for this kind of incident. Three years later, in 1997, it was the gruesome murder of a schoolboy from Kobe that brought the problem of Japan's teen killers to international attention. A 14-year-old student abducted 11-year-old Jun Hasei from school and took him into nearby hills. He then tortured, strangled, and decapitated him. The severed head was left on the school gates. The police assumed that they were dealing with a psychotic adult. When the identity of the killer was discovered, there was universal astonishment and disbelief.
I was very shocked when I found out the offender was the same age as my own child.
The 14-year-old killer placed a note in the mouth of his victim's severed head, which read, "I desperately want to see people die. Nothing makes me more excited than killing. Now the game begins." In another note he wrote, "I want to take revenge on the compulsory education system that has made me transparent and invisible." These were sentiments shared by many Japanese schoolchildren. But rising teenage violence doesn't stop at the school gates.
I'm really worried about the escalation of violent juvenile crime. There's a significant increase in impulsive, horrific crimes, which makes me very worried about the future. People feel endangered when they walk around the city. Regular workers and housewives are being attacked by teenagers. More and more people are being victimized in the city and in the suburbs.
It's not just random acts of teenage violence that are plaguing Japanese towns and cities. There are over 1,000 teenage motorbike gangs known as the Bozazuku throughout Japan. These gangs, made up of ordinary Japanese teenagers, have become a dangerous and uncontrollable force in Japanese society. Surprisingly, there is almost no gun culture in the teen motorbike gangs.
They roam around in uniforms at weekends late at night. Big groups of them on stolen or modified bikes. Most carry knives or baseball bats. If the enemy attacks them, they hit them with these metal baseball bats. They're also used for robberies. That's the reality. These are the petrol bombs the gangs use. They are quite primitive. They simply fill the bottle with petrol, insert a piece of cloth, and light it. When they smash the bottle, the petrol vaporizes and explodes. This is a knife used in a murder case involving a motorbike gang. This is a butterfly knife. It's the same one that was used by a student who stabbed a teacher in Tochigi. You can open it quickly with one hand.
Every November in Hiroshima, the international city of peace, hundreds of teenage motorbike gangs converge for a weekend of organized gang warfare. The riots are choreographed for the benefit of the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza, who handpick the toughest teenagers for future membership.
There were
try everything else that exists before they'll try this treatment, because it's a stem cell transplant and it'll kill 8 out of 10 people, sort of thing. So you've got to be like at the last stage. So like this is like these people got horseshoe lucky. They went for this experimental treatment and boom, they got the cure. But there's actually 3 people that have been cured.
Is Sarah Watts in the dance?
and for the price of a house in anywhere south of Birmingham, you could buy a village in Spain.
I mean, you'll know in Africa that they've been cured a bit, haven't they? Like they've got sort of self-immunity in Africa.
And I would be so
because they've been so, you know, exposed to it for so long
go in there and just
that some few black women have become immune to HIV. They've got like the antibody, you know, and it keeps fucking T cells don't go down or anything.
So talking of petrol prices, you call it gasoline, I believe.
Yeah, that
I've just done the
it'd be interesting to find that. It's ages ago, man. I doubt I'll find it because they kept taking it down. But it does fucking. It's a good one actually. It's a good little watch, even though if you think it's a load of bollocks, it's pretty good actually.
Expensive here.
It's a good little fucking. It's like about 1998, 99 sort of presentation. Pretty good.
Let me try. Gasoline prices. I'm paying what I was paying in New York 20 years ago.
I don't know.
I'm paying $3.29 a
banging
gallon
those
here in
7
South
gram
Carolina.
rocks, because that's just
Now
how
that
it
it may
rolls.
not seem like much, because I'm sure New York's
I got
closer
one
to $5,
speed, go.
but That's for regular. That's
By
87
by what? By women?
that I'm forced to put in my
Because I'm me.
fucking nice ass
Tiger
truck at the
blood, man,
moment.
I'm me.
Because I couldn't afford life anyway.
Come on, fucking Batman thing.
There's just 365. That's not too bad.
Fucking Batman.
That's not too bad. I figured it was closer to fucking $5. That's not too bad.
Fucking
You
bad
know,
boy.
50 cents
Bomb,
more expensive
all
house.
that can get me. Tottenham boys.
You know, I
Acme
don't
boys.
put a lot of my shit out
You
there
get me?
anymore
All
because
that
I
stuff
found
is
out
fine.
trusting people on Camfrog and putting your shit out there,
Man, Haringey, Green
you
Lane.
get fucked over real
Acme
fast.
boys.
I
Tottenham
don't
boys.
just
You
ice
understand, man?
cakes
These are
anymore. Okay?
like, I don't care
Not-
what groups
no,
people
not
like
you.
Gangster and Luke. No,
I don't
who they
just
grew up with.
ice
I grew up with the
cakes
main
anymore.
fucking lot.
I have
man.
my own functioning
main
business
fucking
running out of my
head
own
tasters.
goddamn home.
Out of all the North London fucking gangsters.
Bread, cupcakes.
From a certain period to a certain period,
I know.
mate.
I'm
I was around the most
just
active,
saying.
ruthless ones, mate.
People
I don't
don't
know who
know
these
all
gangsters
about
are.
Brittany like they
You know what I
used
mean? And who
to.
they know and all this.
I keep it that way
Ask
for a
Luke,
reason.
Where you from, Luke? I'm asking him his background, bruv. Oh, South London, mess. East London. He keeps changing.
That's another one for the Iggy
Why are
block.
you telling
Just
me where
saying,
you was
if
born?
you
I'll
can't
tell you. I
play
was born in a
nice,
house at M4.
Go to the
All the way
sandbox
down
next
the
door.
state, mate.
Sorry, I'm
Come and do your research. Why don't you tell me where you're from?
my bad.
This is what I told you about fucking fanny boys
defensive real
on Camfrog. They hide their background.
Oh, because they play like
Oh,
a
shit.
leader, don't you?
Yeah,
Nigger
'cause
around,
they
nigger around, nigger around, hide there, nigger around, nigger around.
Mr.
Can I
Pitt,
just
let me tell you
No, I
what.
can't because he was all in. Because I noticed you wanted the mic this scale, so I think you probably wanted a reply. And
per gallon
this
of
is one of my
gas.
favourite scenes in the movie, and I know that's one of mine.
for-
But I know you like it, but skip it. Al Pacino
No,
when he loses
no,
the
for
fight.
what
Can you
I
just
filled
play
your
it
truck
quick?
up with the other day.
It's
We
fucking
get
classic.
$7 or $3.70 a gallon because of the little card
go on,
we have.
you might as
We
well
get
now.
5 cents off a gallon. Anywho, long story short, I
Where
filled
you
John's
from,
truck
laddie?
up to halfway the other day.
No, I don't even
It
know. I
cost
can't even remember what I was going to reply to
$50
those. I think it was something to do
for
because
half
do
a
with
tank
the
of gas.
what is
Okay?
because I'm honest
It
about
cost
my
him
background. I think a lot of
$40
people know my
yesterday
background, don't they?
For
Like I was
the
part of
other
the,
half of the tank to fill
some
it the rest
criminal
of the
network.
way, you know. So
when
I
was
must have had some
younger, like,
extra
you know,
fumes
you
in
might
there we
know
didn't
them,
know about.
you know, Liverpool sort of.
Anywho,
There was
like
two
the-
gangs, lads, you know what I mean?
truck- when
I lost
when
two
we had the
mates,
Kia,
you know what I mean, brutally,
the
you know what I
fucking
mean?
Kia,
One was shot dead out of
I
prison and all
spent
that, like. It was, you know, it's a life you're not proud of,
$30,
like.
$40
You know what I mean? Like,
maximum
but it
a
happens,
month.
shit happens, innit? You get
For the
out, you
whole
find
month,
comfortable.
that's like 2 or
and
3
you
fill-ups.
keep away from the bad people, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I love the truck.
I've never
though.
seen this movie,
I love
Skinners.
that truck.
That
I
you're
love getting
about to
behind
play,
that
you know, I know
truck,
you're always
getting on the
quoting that,
highway
don't
and
you?
just stepping on the gas. And the
You
sound
fucking
it
cunt.
makes.
She did 102 miles an
I've
hour.
never seen it, you know, and I do
in
like
a
Pacino. He's one of my favourite actors. I used to say that he was my favourite actor, but he's actually, it turns out he's not. I used to once upon a time think he
I
was.
decided to
He
play
always
chicken
used
with a
to
much
go between De
smaller
Niro,
car
Al
because the guy
Pacino,
in
into were
front
like
of
the
me was
best.
doing only 20
So it's very
miles an hour, and I
indecisive
got
between
sick
them
of
two.
it.
And
So I
then, you know, I've
decided to pass
decided
him.
it's
Well,
none
when
of
I
you
started to
motherfuckers.
pass him
He's in my
on
top
the
5.
lines on the road, you know, they
DiCaprio's
go
my
from
man.
like, you know, you got
You
your
know, they
yellow,
used to go
double
fucking
yellow, and then
cunt.
you got the one where it's dotted and you're allowed to pass. Well, I was allowed to pass, and I waited a little bit too long. And I went
Who's your
around,
main man,
and
Flash?
John got so excited. He was like, "Bitch,
It's
that is how
very
you drive
difficult,
my
isn't it? Because
truck."
there's just so much
From
talent.
now
You've got your
on,
Tom Hanks and all that, you know what I
That's how
mean?
you
You're allowed
drive
to
my truck. He
choose
said, "Ooh, now we
one
got a
brown
bully."
man in your top 5. You could have 5, but let's just keep it like you know, you've got 4, you're allowed 4 white mans and 1 brown man.
That was hot.
My favourite brown man
If
in
a
the top
female is
5.
gonna drive a big ass
But he's not
pickup
in the
truck,
top 5.
and they're
because
gonna drive it
it's
like
all
a
white.
fucking truck.
That's no offence
That's hot.
to anyone,
Oh, that's
anyone else
hot.
or nothing, you know what
Especially
I
when they're
mean?
wearing a little red
Not being
sundress and a
elitist.
fucking cowboy hat. That's fucking hot.
But you know,
Good thing
Denzel
I-
Washington is getting in the top 5 there as my favourite brown gentleman.
Dreams really do come true.
Think?
Yeah.
Oh yes,
The way
please.
John's
The
talking,
police
yeah, I guess so.
You should watch this film, you silly bastards.
No,
It's classic.
so there's a country song about a girl in
Classic.
Right.
We had a
Don't expect
So,
explosions. It's talking all the
while
way
back,
through.
I
It's a
decided to
classic.
surprise John
like burglary
and
last
I
night.
found
I was just
a red
assuring Mr.
sundress
Mr. Link?
on this website.
James Link, your
for a
contract went out.
decent
Nothing
price.
to worry about. Your contract went out to the bank.
Oops.
So I have my red
The check was
sundress,
cashed, the contract was
black
filed
cowboy
and
boots,
deposited
my
in the
black
bank,
cowboy
and we're
hat,
completely insured in any case.
and we're
as you
driving
know.
down the road.
You cashed the
and
check?
this car's only doing
Not
like
to my
20,
knowledge,
25 miles an hour. And
Well,
I
I'm sure we
finally
can-
get sick of it, and I start to go around him.
Oh,
As soon as I start to go around him,
Don't follow me.
two
Just don't
cars
follow
pull
me,
off
okay?
this side
Whoa,
street.
whoa.
So I hit the gas
I let you
even
down.
harder,
I know I let you
just to
down.
get
I let
around
you
the
down. I'm
car
sorry,
that
I let you
trying to get
down.
around and not hit the cars coming at me. You
I don't
know?
know. I don't know.
It was freaking awesome.
Well, no, Mark, I'm just playing this and I'm
I gotta
done.
say, it was
Forgive
the,
me.
oh, how would y'all say it? It was a
Here it comes. Best bit, guys. Here we
proper
go.
shit show for a minute.
Yeah, bit
I thought I was
pathetic.
gonna die, but we didn't.
Stupid fucking cunt. Look at this.
You stupid fucking cunt. You, Williamson, I'm talking to you, shithead. You just cost me $6,000. $6,000
room I go
and
to
one
has got
cat.
one of those adverts that's
That's
just
right.
popped up saying we're going to talk about
What are you
freeing Ukraine, which is what we were
What
talking
are you
about
gonna
a
do
moment
about
ago,
it?
but I'm fairly certain there's
Asshole.
a single room on Camfrog that can fix
You're
that
fucking
mess.
shit.
It's not like
Where
a
did you
room
learn
on
your
Camfrog.
trade, you
One of the
stupid
fight
fucking
rooms is
cunt,
gonna
you
go around
idiot?
and swear at them until they
Whoever
give up.
told you that you could work with men?
Go around and
Oh, I'm gonna have your job,
give them
shit.
a paper cut, right?
I'm going downtown. I'm gonna talk to Mitch and Murray. I'm going to Lemkin. I don't care whose
funny
nephew
'cause the
you
amount
are,
of times
who
I've
you
been
know,
fight
whose
fight
dick you're
and
sucking
I
on.
just
You're going
spend it
out.
wherever I am,
I
but
swear to you, you're going.
Let's get this done. Take exception to me. It's happened in
Anyone in
This
this
office lives on his
as well,
wits.
where people have just decided that I'm not a
I'll be
nice
with you in a
human
second.
and gone off on me. And they
What you're
actually
hired
think
for
it has an effect.
is to help us.
With everything
Does
that we
that
have
seem
to deal
clear
with in
to
this
you?
world, with our jobs and with
To
caring
help
for our
us,
friends and family,
not to fuck us up.
people on campus
To help men who are going out there to try to earn a living, you fairy.
You company man.
I'll tell you something else. I hope you rip the joint off. I can tell our
Very
friend
few
here
can get
a
on
little
my
something might help
Facebook.
him to
To
catch
get
it.
on my Facebook, I have to respect and love you.
You want to know the first
You want to
rule?
learn the first rule?
You know if you ever spend a day in a life, you never open
Starry, starry night.
with shuddies. Fucking child.
Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills.
To other people because
Sketch the trees and the daffodils.
where I
Catch
trusted
the
some
breeze
folks
and the winter chills.
come to find out I shouldn't have trusted those people. And I don't know if it was like my game was off
Now I
or if I just
understand
wasn't paying attention because I was so excited to meet
what you tried to say to me.
you know.
How you suffered for your
Because
sins.
How
How you tried to set them free. They would not be
I
silly.
like to get to know them, know a little bit about them enough to be like,
Perhaps
do I like this person or do I need to walk away? You know? And I've been doing that more often with people in my life, like
Flaming
trying to
clouds
get
that brightly
feeling out. Can I like this person? Can I
swirling
not?
clouds
And
invite.
I
He'll end up in the Premier League at Man City, I think.
into liking the good qualities about people and ignoring the
Colors
bad
changing
ones.
hue. Morning
when-
fields of amber grain.
Some bullshit
Weathered
happens and comes up,
faces
and
lined
they're not the person I thought they were.
Let's go listen to some tunes, Mike.
It's
Now I
Bit of
how
verb.
to explain it, but you, I think you know.
what you tried to say
I'll
to
listen to
me.
this
How you suffered for your sanity.
here. He's done it live here.
How you
It's not gonna be great.
Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you,
Going straight at my basket.
but still your
Hold on.
love was true. And when no hope was left inside of that ocean, you took your life as
breaks.
But I could
He
have
was
told
only
you,
like that
Vincent,
once or twice in his life.
this world was never meant for what is beautiful.
If it's toxic, walk away. If you don't know yet,
had a nice night.
Starry, starry
relationships with women before I got married was
portraits hung in empty halls.
Hello,
With
Infy.
frameless heads
Still
on
here. Hello, Infy. Right turns. You right?
with
You right,
eyes
Sergio?
that watch
against the
the
grief I
world
might feel if they
and
left.
forget, like the strangers that
I would
you
enter into it thinking, yeah, this might prick my
the
heart.
ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody
Do
rose,
something funny for you, I suppose.
I crushed
Fuck.
and broken
Oh,
off
hang,
the
hang.
virgin snow.
Something in my life that
Now I think I know
takes me away from having to
what
worry.
you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity,
Life is not.
how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still.
I'm talking to you here, girls.
Can't trust you.
Perhaps they never.
Do you know what I mean? You'd like to trust it, innit? But you can't.
It lasts for a week, then the pain you're going to get
Eternity is childish.
lasts for a year.
Yeah, no, seriously, Tibbs. Passing number out from room to room, and I didn't even do anything wrong to you. I've always been nice to you, I think. Sometimes, yeah, I take the piss, but just like
I'm
you
gonna
take
shut
the
up.
piss out
It's
of me,
not
you know
gonna
what I
put
mean?
Marty to
It's just a
sleep.
banter, innit? It's just harmless little pokey fun. And that's quite offended that when you did that to me with the phone number. I thought you
I have
horrible
blood.
cunt.
That's not family.
And I think Skinner's sort of felt that as well with
That's not
the
blood.
JD situation.
They used to say blood was thicker than water.
Yeah, bruv. Innit, bruv? Yeah. You better go and see Ruby and sort her fanny out, ain't you, Scouse? Go and give her large portions. Yeah,
Instead, I've
bruv.
gotten friends that I've
That's your daughter's name. What? Ruby?
25,
Is it?
26 years now.
Oh my god.
Are
Well,
way more family.
I'm not talking about your daughter. She's like fucking, well, unless Scouse goes for underage, I don't know.
So-
Who knows?
I would like to say
Can I just play this chorus here? It's just too good not to
I've
share. I
had
love this chorus. Listen, it's just like 20 seconds.
very many close friends.
Wait for it to come in.
Something more than I am. There's something inside of me, crying out for something else. And if someone hears my scream, we'll put it in a letter to me.
I can count on half my hand almost. Who have kept in contact over the years since we've been here. I
Fantastic. Isn't it funny how Flash goes on Oasis?
members,
What the fuck, dude?
because when my mom passed away, most of my
It could be
family
anything but that.
told me what a piece of shit I was. The only reason they tolerated me was because my mom wanted to love her. And I don't put out my my mom. So, if it was
Go on, son.
and I could call. I'd like
Don't my daughter look like me? Have a look.
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah, I'm
about this
alright,
last
Tibbs,
night,
thanks.
wasn't
How are
it?
you? You alright?
Just recently I sent
Skinner's, have a look.
$100 to a friend. $100 I really didn't have.
Alright, thanks, Tibbs. How are you, mate?
Because
You alright?
he had bills to pay and it was his kid's birthday and
What?
he hadn't bought his 7-year-old kid a present because of the bills being too high.
Look at my daughter, sis.
So I sent him $100
Jeez.
to pay off the rest of the bills, get his kid a present and buy them all
Oh,
ice cream.
pedo.
It's not something I could afford, but I wasn't in that situation.
He actually said that
Wasn't
word in
that
front of
hard
his
for
little
me.
girl, his little daughter there. Like, not that she's old enough to understand or nothing, but like, it's just not like you want to
wish-
think about really calling someone a pedo when you've got your little newborn in your arms.
That
Do you know what I mean?
things haven't gone the way they have.
Bit of a make guys are in these
It's
tips.
a lot of fucking old people talking and fucking trying to do off with
Who's a
different
fucking pedo?
situations that have made this such a big
Gas
thing.
is a pedo.
COVID is the reason why we're looking at all this bullshit. Why everybody's so tensed up, and we're having deals with Russia. We're having deals with freaking in your own homes. We're having deals with inflation on everything from gas.